Why is Israel oppressing Palestinians? A comprehensive historical, political, religious, and economic analysis of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most complex, emotional, and long-standing issues in modern history. This video explores the many layers behind this crisis. From ancient roots to colonialism, from the Holocaust to the creation of Israel, and from global politics to religious tensions, this documentary will give you a powerful and deep understanding of the factors that have shaped this tragedy. The land of Palestine, a crossroads of civilizations. Palestine is one of the most ancient regions in the world, often described as the cradle of civilizations. Located between Africa and Asia, it has been home to Canaanites, Israelites, Babylonians, Romans, Byzantines, Muslims, Crusaders, Ottomans, and the British. Jerusalem, a city central to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, has always held deep religious and cultural significance. For centuries, Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived in this land, often in harmony and sometimes in conflict. By the late 1800s, the majority of the population in Palestine was Arab Muslims and Christians, with Jews forming a small minority. Most Jews lived in peace with their Arab neighbors. However, a new ideology was emerging in Europe that would change everything. Zionism, and European anti-Semitism. Zionism is a nationalist movement that began in the late 19th century. Its goal was to establish a homeland for Jews who had faced centuries of persecution in Europe. Pogroms in Eastern Europe, anti-Jewish laws, and rising hatred led many Jews to believe that they could never be safe in Europe. Theodor Herzl, the father of modern Zionism, believed that Jews needed a state of their own. He proposed Palestine as the ideal location due to its biblical connection to Judaism. But Palestine was already inhabited by a thriving Arab population. Zionists began to migrate to Palestine in waves, buying land and setting up agricultural colonies. This caused tensions with the native Arabs who saw their land being bought and occupied by foreigners. World War I and British Mandate. During World War I, the British made conflicting promises to different groups. In the Balfour Declaration of 1917, Britain promised the Zionists that they would support a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. At the same time, Britain promised the Arabs independence if they revolted against the Ottoman Empire. After the war, Britain was given control of Palestine by the League of Nations. The British allowed increased Jewish immigration, leading to growing tensions and riots between Arabs and Jews. Palestinians began to fear they were being replaced in their own land. The Holocaust and the desperation of Jewish refugees during World War II. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime carried out the Holocaust, murdering 6 million Jews. Jews were gassed in concentration camps, starved, shot, and burned. Families were torn apart. Children were separated from parents. Millions died in horrific ways. Some Jews escaped the camps and tried to flee Europe. But most countries, including the United States and Britain, refused to take them in. Ships carrying Jewish refugees were turned away. One such ship, the Exodus 1947, wandered for weeks as no country allowed them entry. Eventually, they were sent back to Europe. Hitler left behind chilling words. "I have left some Jews alive to show the world why I killed the rest." He viewed Jews as a threat to global peace and ordered that wherever they are found, they must be eradicated. Some Jews went into hiding, under floorboards in forests and churches, but Hitler's SS troops often found them. In some regions, Nazi soldiers built towers of Jewish skulls to spread terror. These acts shocked the world and laid the foundation for the urgency of a Jewish homeland. The United Nations and the creation of Israel after World War II, global sympathy for Jews reached its peak. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a plan to divide Palestine into 2 states, one for Jews and one for Arabs. Jews were granted 55% of the land, even though they made up only 33% of the population and owned less than 7% of the land. The Arab nations rejected the plan, believing it was unjust and that Palestinians were being punished for Europe's crimes. In 1948, Israel declared independence. Neighboring Arab countries attacked, but Israel not only defended itself, it expanded its territory. Over 800,000 Palestinians were forcibly expelled or fled from their homes in what is known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Entire villages were wiped out. Palestinians became refugees in Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, and Gaza. Chapter 6. How Israel became a superpower. 1. Military support from the West. The United States has given Israel over $300 billion in aid since its creation, much of it military. Israel has cutting-edge jets, tanks, drones, and defense systems like the Iron Dome. 2. Global Jewish investments. Jews from Europe and America invested heavily in Israel, building universities, hospitals, tech companies, and banks. Billionaires donated to help Israel grow rapidly. 3. Tech and innovation. Israel is known as the startup nation. It leads the world in cybersecurity, agriculture tech, and military innovation. Apps like Waze and companies like Mobileye are Israeli creations. 4. Agricultural success. Despite being mostly desert, Israel has made the desert bloom using drip irrigation, water recycling, and advanced farming techniques. It now exports fruits, vegetables, and flowers globally. 5. Nuclear power. Though not officially confirmed, Israel is believed to have 80-90 nuclear weapons, making it one of the few nuclear powers in the world. The oppression of Palestinians today. 1. Land theft and settlements. Israeli settlers continue to occupy Palestinian land in the West Bank. Homes are bulldozed, and families are evicted to make way for illegal settlements. 2. Military occupation, checkpoints, walls, and military raids have turned the West Bank into a prison. Palestinians need permits to move, and thousands are in Israeli jails. Gaza siege. Since 2007, Gaza has been under a brutal blockade. Electricity, food, medicine, and fuel are limited. Unemployment is over 50%. 4. Religious conflict. Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem is under constant threat. Israeli forces often clash with worshippers, fueling religious tensions. 5. Lack of global justice. Despite UN resolutions, Israel faces little accountability due to U.S. vetoes and Western support. War crimes go unpunished, and human rights abuses continue. Chapter 8. Resistance in the Palestinian Struggle. 1. Armed resistance. Groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad fight against occupation. However, they are divided, under-resourced, and often target civilians, which draws criticism. 2. Peace movements. Many Palestinians and Israelis seek peace through dialogue, protest, and advocacy. Organizations work globally to raise awareness. 3. BDS movement. Boycott, divestment, sanctions are the global campaign urging individuals and companies to cut ties with Israel until it respects international law. 4. Global support. From South Africa to Latin America, activists support the Palestinian cause. Students, celebrities, and politicians are speaking out. Israel's current power and population. Around 9.7 million Jewish majority, 75% Arab minority, 20%, mostly Muslim GDP, $500 plus billion military rank. Among top 15 globally, nuclear arsenal, estimated 80-90 warheads technology. Global leader in military tech and cybersecurity. A call for security. Justice. This is not just a conflict over land. It's a struggle for justice, dignity, and survival. Both Palestinians and Jews deserve peace, but peace cannot come without justice, equality, and truth. If this video helped you understand the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, please like, share, and subscribe to Knowledge Hub Factory. Let the world know the truth. Awareness is the first step toward change. Thank you for watching.